Long time no see, ladies and gentlemen. With the conclusion of the Granblue Fantasy beta a couple weeks ago, and the feeling of hunger that it left us after it ended, I've decided to sit down and create some videos regarding the characters that were in the beta. Gran, Catalina, Charlotta, Lancelot, and Ferry. I wanted to give short explanations and overviews of each character in the beta, collaborating with other Granblue Fantasy Versus enthusiasts and giving you guys a short rundown of each character that were in the beta. Now, I would like to do this more often with other characters that come out in the future, so expect more of these when more characters come out. I'm really hoping for Narmaya or Ilsa. Please. Do it. I'll even take Vasaraga, that guy's badass. I also wanted to elaborate on the fact that these are not character guides. They don't go over the specific moves or properties of those moves. This is a video where it explains the character archetype, whether the character's for you, and of course an impression of how the character matched up versus other characters. And with that being said, let's go over our second character in this overview series, Ferry. Ferry is a fox-eared ghost girl that captures everyone's attention as soon as she lifts her arms. Her archetype is a mid to long range zoning character, specializing in keep away, chip damage, and space control, but also having some mix-up. Ferry's the contender for the best character in the game, if not one of the best. She has a lot of tools that most traditional zoners don't really have, such as an invincible reversal, specials that keep you locked down, and tools that if used successfully can get you out of situations that you don't want to be in. Her spacing and chip damage are her best features, having buttons that reach almost half screen to 3/4 of the screen, while also having special moves that can deal massive amounts of chip, resulting in wins that consist of chipping the opponent out with GG, her 5D, and of course her Skybound art. Let's go over her notable buttons. And the funny thing is almost all her buttons are fantastic, such as her FAR 5B, her 2B, her FAR 5C, her FAR 5A, her JA, and of course her 2D. Her 5B is her fastest long-reaching button, reaching almost half screen, and it's a great button for poking and maintaining dominance over the space in front of you. Her 2B is probably her most versatile normal. It is a low that has amazing range, and is a tool to make sure that your opponent is blocking low. It also has enough hit stun to combo into EX Whip Grab, which can result in some trouble if you're on defense against Ferry. 2B is by far one of her best normals. Her FAR 5C is her farthest reaching normal. It's a bit slower than FAR 5B, but it can be used very similarly to FAR 5B by keeping your opponents at bay, special canceling into GG, and as well as keeping your distance. Her FAR 5A is a super fun button. It can help create distance from your opponent if they're ever close. It also helps that it's special cancelable, because that means you can punish specific moves you couldn't normally punish due to FAR 5A's great range. And the fact that it's also a fast, light normal helps out immensely. Her JA, or her jumping A, is where most of her mix-ups come from. Ferry is one of the few characters that can make you guess high-low. When summoning GG or your Skybound art and putting the opponent in block stun, if Ferry is next to them, she can go for an overhead or a low mix-up by either going 2A as a low or rising JA as an overhead. JA reaches very, very low whenever you immediately jump up in the air, which causes some super nasty situations. And if you let her, she can do some major damage off of these mix-ups. Lastly is her 2D, which is her sweep. It's a decently ranged low that if you hit this normal can cancel into whip grabs and GG of course. And just like before, you can set up Oki and set play. It's a great button for whenever your opponent gets in, just to check if they're blocking low. Moving on to her special moves, she has a wide variety of special moves. She has a reversal get off me move called Beppo, a lockdown special move to put the opponent in block stun, also causing good chip damage, which is called GG. And don't forget, this is the special move that can lead into 50-50s. The cat is all powerful. And he's just so cute. Look at him. Oh my god. She has a whip grab special move that is blockable. However, if you do get hit by this, depending on the strength and the command for what the Ferry player does, they can either pull you in for some nasty mix-ups or even a combo, or you can just leave them where they are and get some extra damage. Finally, she has a whip hula hoop. That's what I'm calling it, by the way. That hits multiple times, causing amazing knockback on block, making it safe, and of course does a lot of chip damage. All of these special moves have a purpose in her gameplay and can make her an extremely deadly character. Ferry's also one of the only characters with 2 Skybound arts. She has her traditional Skybound art where she summons a ball that bounces around, making it very, very good for set play and also for chip damage. And then she also has her install super, where she goes into a mode where she can chain all of her normals, including her FAR ones, her dive kick ones, her unique ones, every single one of them. It's very, very effective. And yes, she can be pretty cheap when she's in this mode. Lastly, I'd like to talk about her unique attack. She has a whip twirl that can hit up to 15 times, causing massive pushback on block and massive chip damage, further adding to her deadliness. Her JD is a dive kick. Her dive kick can also reach varying different distances depending on which direction you press with the JD, and it's very, very similar to Dalsum from the Street Fighter series. When the dive kick is spaced correctly, she can be plus on block, further adding to her pressure, but it can also be very deadly because if you misspace it, you can be completely wide open for an attack. It also has another utility. It can be great for closing spaces between you and the opponent, or opening up more space, further distancing you and the opponent. You can throw out a super or GG, and then when the opponent is in block stun, you can dive kick over to them and mix them up while they're in block stun. And if the opponent is right in your face, very close to you, and you want to escape, you can pick a spot and go ahead and jump up in the air and dive kick right out of there. Either or, both methods should be used with caution, because one right read from the opponent means you're dead. The last of her unique moves is where she jumps up in the air, she presses up in the unique button, and then she swings around like a monkey, George of the Jungle style, and she can let go forward or backwards depending on when you let go. It's a pretty funny special move, to be honest with you, and it's really cool for just trolling around or just escaping the corner if you really need to. I don't think it'll have too much utilization if I'm to be real here. It just looks really funny. Needless to say, she has a lot of pros, but still has some cons. The biggest one by far is that Ferry is very weak to dodging and evading due to the recovery of her normals on whiff. If Ferry gets too predictable with where she swings her whip and cancels into special moves, as the defender against Ferry, you can simply evade at the right moment and then all of a sudden, you're in. Overall, Ferry is definitely for you if you like keep away zoning gameplay, if you're a fan of set play, because she has a lot of that, mix-ups, cheap normals, and playing the patience game. I personally am a big fan of Ferry and her gameplay, but I also can't wait for possibly Narmaya to come out or Ilsa to come out. Either one of those two, I'll be completely fine. Until then, I'll be playing Ferry. And that about does it for Ferry. Let me know what you guys think of the character, if you guys are going to be playing her during the game's release, or if you're waiting for another character just like myself. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you guys did. It really helps me out. See if you guys want to see more of these kind of videos. Subscribe to the channel for more of these overviews for the characters. And also follow me on Twitter if you guys want to know anything about me or the channel. Take care, everybody. We'll see you guys in the next overview video.